the Down Zumock Podcast. You know what's up. You're talking to the Z-Man. You're talking to the Lawson's Chip Dip consumer. You're talking to the fourth Beastie Boy. You're talking to the King of Stupid, the has-been baller, Kent Roosevelt graduate, coming live and direct in Florida, outside in the beautiful sunshine, the Florida state, O.J. Simpson's getaway, the home of Casey Anthony, and the piece of shit Florida Marlins. Speaking of Florida, I am at the Orlando Improv Wednesday, June 20th. Plenty of tickets available. And you can hit up Tampa Side Splitters all weekend long, Thursday through Friday, 21st through the 24th. Doing Mike Calta, Cowhead on Friday. Listen to me on the radio. If you're down in the Tampa area, come to the show. Come on, everybody. Step up your game. Speaking of stepping up your game, thanks to everyone that signed on to the Patreon. Shout out to the $3 Gunners. You guys are ballers. I'm putting out additional bonus episodes once a week. I'm finding all kinds of crazy content I'm putting up there just for members only. Clips of things I've done in the past. I'm putting up stand-up. I'm going to be putting up video. So everyone that's signed on, I appreciate it. It's grassroots. It's ground level. Stay with me, because I continue to build the podcast. With everything that goes into Patreon, it's going right to the podcast. I'm going to buy more equipment. Hopefully, we can get a producer. There's all kinds of cool shit. Go over to patreon.com/SitDownZumock. Check it out. Bonus episodes each week. This week, I'm going to be talking about the Chris Hardwick situation. I'm going to be talking about LeBron James. I'm going to be talking about some comedy shit. I'm going to be talking about the staircase. I'm talking shit. And I'm just going to talk shit about people that I don't like. I'm going to burn some bridges like Kevin Brennan. All right. This week's episode is brought to you by no one, because I don't have a presenting sponsor, but I'm looking for one. If you're interested, you're a business, hit up the Z-Man directly. Go to chadzumock3@gmail.com, my personal email. And by the way, if you want to email me topics or anything, I'll read it on the air. chadzumock3@gmail.com. But I'm looking for, what am I looking for? I just lost my train of thought. A presenting sponsor. And I'm also looking for a web developer. I'm looking to build a new website. I got all kinds of ideas. I need to execute them. So hit me up. This week's episode, Craig Lyndall, SWAPCAST, waiting for next year. We get together once or twice a year to shoot the shit. Craig's a great guy. He has a popular podcast called Waiting for Next Year. We talk about LeBron. We talk about doing the road. We talk about all kinds of stuff. We have some theories on the NBA. To be honest with you, I don't remember what we talked about. I know we talked about LeBron and a couple other things. I think I talked some shit on Cleveland radio, which is always, people like that shit. So yeah, just give it a listen. Enjoy. Go over to the iTunes. Leave the 5 stars. Leave the comment. I'll read it on air. And let's get this thing going. 3 minutes and 35 seconds is not a bad intro. That's a wrap.
Sit down, Zumock.
Sit down, Zumock.
I've got at least one pair of good shoes in the back of the closet somewhere.
I'm an American. I am. I come from a family with a proud, strong American tradition. My grandfather served in World War II. My dad served in Vietnam. And I served at Applebee's, so... Bunch of bullshit. Bunch of bullshit. Bunch of bullshit.
Sit down, Zumock.
Hit me!
Sit down, Zumock.
Hey everybody, Waiting for Next Year.com podcast, and also the Down Zumock podcast.
And also, WTF with Mark Maron.
I wish. If only we got that kind of distribution.
I got his number. We can call him.
Yeah, that's funny.
We'll see.
So I'm with Chad Zumock. We're in an undisclosed bar, so you're going to hear some background noise on this one.
Yes.
The World Cup is on, so I kind of played a little bit of hooky from work, to watch the World Cup, and then we decided to really multitask and do some podcasting. So if I drop out, it means Portugal and Spain are doing something interesting.
And I'll just pick up the conversation from there.
So it kind of sucks timing-wise. You and I were talking before we recorded before we hit the record button that Kawhi Leonard demanded a trade, and everybody thinks that might be the first domino that sends LeBron to LA. By the time people are listening to this, we might know where LeBron's going.
True, but what's the chances of Kawhi getting traded to the Cavs? That could happen.
I guess if you were Kawhi Leonard, you were making a list of destinations because you thought you were underserved in a market like San Antonio, and you wanted to make a name for yourself. Playing alongside LeBron would help, but would you do that in Cleveland?
Nah, I just don't understand these players demanding trades. You're under contract. You signed the contract. Like what Kyrie did, I would have been like, no, you have 2 years left on your deal, dude. Shut up.
When it's not the NFL, you can't just cut a guy. Those deals are guaranteed.
Yeah.
So I get it. But it's
Kyrie really disappointed me, man.
But that's the NBA. What are you going to do?
I just don't understand. They didn't have to trade the guy.
No, they did.
And no, you have to fulfill an obligation.
But Kyrie gave them a demand. The Cavaliers blinked. It's on them.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have blinked. They probably shouldn't have fired David Griffin in the middle of their situation.
It was unbelievable that this past Cavs season was like 9 seasons.
Oh, my God.
I hated every minute of it. I did not enjoy this season at all.
I didn't either. I enjoyed the playoffs, and I certainly got some great moments. Like, I took my son to that Pacers game. LeBron hit the three-pointer to win it.
That was great.
Like, there were some moments, and I really did everything that I could to try and enjoy it, but they made it really hard.
Oh, they pushed the fans to the brink. I mean, there were so many just blunders. I mean, at one point, we had Dwayne Wade, which is hilarious to think about in retrospect. And then you have
Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose was on the team. What? Isaiah Thomas
and Jay Crowder.
What? How did that happen?
It was just never going to work. It was all about that eighth. It was what turned out to be the 8th pick. It was all about that Brooklyn pick. And now the Cavaliers have that number 8 pick. They have no idea what to do with it, presumably, because they don't know what LeBron's going to do.
He's holding hostage.
Do they pick somebody who would play alongside LeBron well, or do they pick somebody who would, I don't know, maybe pick up the mantle? I mean, they're obviously going to pick the best player possible,
right?
But without knowing what LeBron's going to do, it's really tough.
I think whatever they can compliment Larry Nance with, Jr. That's what they should be thinking of. Because he's just a kid from Akron.
He's just a kid from Akron. If LeBron does go to LA and he picks up his option and demands a trade to LA, the Cavaliers should insist on sending Jordan Clarkson with him.
Oh, I know. I know. I got some dirt on that guy. I'm not going to say it on your podcast, but I've heard some stuff about that guy.
I'm sure there's plenty of dirt on all of these NBA players.
There's dirt on everybody. But
we should treat it like Page 6 sometime, where an undisclosed player who plays for the Cavaliers and used to play for the Lakers. We're not saying who.
We should call it Waiting for Next Year Gossip Edition.
Yeah.
I'm your gossip guy.
So, all right, presuming by the time people are listening to this, LeBron hasn't told them, hasn't made a decision, hasn't pushed his way out of Cleveland. What's your thought right now on Friday afternoon as we sit here talking?
I guarantee, this is the one thing I do guarantee. Everyone's saying where LeBron's going. They got scoops. They know that no one knows. Not one person knows besides LeBron. LeBron's keeping it so tight to the vest. So this is all just speculation.
Everybody's guessing.
Guessing. So if I'm going to play the guessing game, which I am, I believe LeBron James signs a 5-year deal to stay in Cleveland. And I'll tell you what, because he's part of the Players Association that fought for that max deal. He wants to be the highest paid player in the league, and the only place he can do it is Cleveland. And he went to the finals last year, and obviously with Boston emerging, they're going to be a difficult, competitor to get to the finals, but he's always going to have a chance to go to the finals in Cleveland no matter what. Plus, LeBron James is a control freak. He can't be coached. He's not going to San Antonio. He's a kind of guy he's so smart, but you really can't coach the guy. He just does what he wants to do. So LeBron knows that, and this is the place he can do it. I really do believe it. Now, you factor in the family, and I believe he wants to see Bronny Jr. go to St. V and play in LeBron James Arena.
Well, and I certainly think that's one of the things that gets undervalued when everybody starts talking about it, because the national media is tired of coming to Cleveland for the finals. They're tired of covering things in the Cleveland area. And I understand, Cleveland is not Chicago, it's not LA, it's not Toronto, it's not New York. And they do have to keep coming here to cover the NBA Finals in Cleveland. And they might have to continue doing that as long as LeBron remains in Cleveland. But I think people undersell the idea that LeBron would want that 5-year, $210 million contract, because, as you pointed out with Kyrie, it doesn't matter. As long as LeBron has a no-trade clause, if the Cavaliers completely tank at some point and he wants out, all he has to do is say, I'm not going to play. You have to trade me. I want to go to Toronto now. I want to go to Boston now. I want to go to, 3 years down the road, whatever it turns out to be. He'll always have market value. He'll always be tradable, and he'll always control his own destiny, whether he's on a contract or not.
Yeah.
So why not sign up that one? At some point at 33 or 34 years old, the clock is winding down, and you might as well sign up for that last $250 million contract.
That's what everyone's. He's always bringing up finances. I noticed, at his last press conference, he said they asked him if he would be interested in buying the Cavs, and he goes, "Well, according to the richest players list, I'm not. I'm number 6, so
I'm not much for boxing."
Yeah. So that's definitely in the back of his mind, and to be King Dick, he wants to be able to have that max deal, and the Cavs are we can pay him the most money.
That's true,
and we can work around stuff, man. I have an idea. How about we trade? I'll play backyard GM. How about we trade J.R. Smith, that first pick, to Washington for Bradley Beal? He's an off-the-ball shooter. You'd complement LeBron great.
Well, they would never do that for just that, but somebody might be available like that. Maybe John Wall is available, and nobody wants to pay John Wall what he's going to be about to make.
Yeah.
But for the Cavaliers, who have no flexibility, have no free agent opportunity, they're going to have to take on somebody like that who's slightly problematic and slightly overpaid.
Yeah.
And then put Dan Gilbert's checkbook to the test.
Yeah.
As they get into that repeater tax, it's going to be absolutely nuts.
Yeah, we've been in the luxury tax before, and didn't we have the highest?
We haven't been out of the luxury tax in 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
And we had the highest payroll in the NBA.
Yep.
So, a lot of things are going to factor into it. Most importantly, it's going to be his kids. But I'm hearing reports that he's looking at schools in LA and all that.
I think we're good. Thank you.
In this day and age, you don't have to be in LA. I told you about a comedian friend of mine off air who's moving to Cleveland, because he wants to start a family, but yet he's on a TV show. Yet he has a million opportunities. You don't necessarily have to be in LA to do what he's doing.
No.
He was in Trainwreck living in Cleveland.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He was in Trainwreck living in Cleveland. He started Uninterrupted. He's got a podcast empire now.
Survivor's Remorse.
All these things have happened. And maybe at some point he does want to be in LA. I get it. But it just, during an NBA season, it doesn't really matter that much anyway. But it all starts with him. He's the dominant. And so all these people who talk about...
Portugal just scored.
I know. That's a good thing.
Craig's dropping out.
I dig it.
Craig's dropping out of the podcast.
I missed it too. So I'm looking for the replay now. It just, the idea that LeBron has to do anything is ludicrous. He's the market maker. He's the biggest domino. Everything else follows him, at least for now.
Yeah.
Maybe by the time he's 36, 37, it won't be the case, but 33 and coming off the finals the way he just did, he's still the man.
And whatever LeBron is doing, and this is all allegedly.
Oh, went right through the goalkeeper.
Whatever.
He's going to be very sorry. A poor attempt.
Whatever. He hooked up with somebody overseas, my personal belief, and he got some amazing drug that no one even knows about. It's untestable. It's top notch for him to be that big, that cut, and jumping higher than he's ever jumped before. That's going to be, we should honestly make sure that's in place with the Cleveland deal. You keep doing that drug.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. I'm not saying it's HGH.
Go do the blood doping, the blood spinning, whatever it is.
Stem cell, what? I don't know what the hell you're doing. Just keep doing it. You're too big. You're 33.
He gets like stem cell treatments every night via IV.
He's doing something.
I don't
dude.
care what it is.
Look how big he is. Look at 33. He's jumping higher than he did when he was 18. Get out of here. I mean, I don't care.
No, I
Keep doing it.
I have no qualms. I had no problem with Mark McGuire smashing balls 700
It was
feet.
fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Sosa and McGuire.
You know what I like, Chad? Fun.
You do like fun. You do.
Based on the average human, I actually like fun less than the average human. Like, we won't go there. All right. So other than basketball, what's up, man? So you're back in Cleveland for the summertime.
I am. I made a decision. I'm coming home. Nobody cared.
Yeah,
Plain dealer didn't write about it.
Nobody showed up in Akron for your press
I
conference.
emailed Lee Jenkins saying, "Hey, I'm coming home for the
You
summer."
said, write it yourself, stupid.
And it just said automatic out of the office. Never replied. No, I was in New York and I just been going hardcore, nonstop road work, everything
We
for 3
talked
years.
about it for 3 years.
And it's just, I almost need to decompress, digest, and look at where I'm going and what I want to do. You know, I talked about it before, but I lost my mom in January after a 3-year battle of cancer, and I realized, like, I've been nonstop. I want to focus on just being a normal family, you know, but I was putting such an emphasis on work, which is, you know, important for me. But at the end of the day, I just kind of want to live a normal life right now. And then
What better place to do that than back at home?
yeah. And then when you get back home, everything starts coming around again. Like, I was just at the Winking Lizard in Lakewood. And like, dude, I miss you on the old Alan Cox show. It's just like, like in Omaha, nobody even knows that. Or
You didn't miss that.
no, exactly. It's just like one little thing in my life that it's just like, all right, I got to go through this again. I got to deal with, but then today,
You should take it as a compliment. People remember you.
I do. I'm glad nobody, you know, we've had a very rocky relationship between me and my old group, but I just, you do so much and you just want to, like, I don't know.
Yeah. So you're gonna be doing stand up around town.
I think
A
so.
little
I haven't done stand up in 2 weeks and it feels good. I haven't even wrote a joke, even thought about a joke. Because I got so sick of my act. I'm going to Florida next week. This drops on Tuesday. My podcast, it does. I'll be at the Orlando Improv on June. Let's get a cheap plug out of the way. June 20th, I'll be at the Orlando and Tampa Side Splitters, the 21st through the 24th. But I'm not doing anything until then.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
What about you? I know your listeners know what's going on, but I don't.
Yeah, no, same old for me. I'm trying. I told everybody on the podcast that we're trying to pick back up and get more consistent again because I've been so hit or miss. You know, I'm very consistent during Browns season. I've always been kind of a Browns first kind of a guy.
Yeah.
It's just very hard, and it was very hard to find any motivation to talk about this year's Cavs team.
It was a very unlikable team.
Yeah, and I mean, what am I going to say about Derrick Rose being gone for 2 weeks? And what am I going to say about Dwayne Wade? Like, it was hysterical. It was one of my favorite things ever was, like, longtime Cavalier Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
That whole joke was going on, but...
There was a clip, he was on Kimmel when LeBron went to Miami and they won the championship, and he goes, they're like, did you ever consider Cleveland? He's like, no, I'd never go to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how things just play out. You never know.
But it's an interesting time for me, too. I'm 39 years old. I've been Waiting for Next Year for the better part of 10 years.
You've been around for a while.
And it's like every single time I sit down to write something about Cleveland sports, or most times when I sit down to talk about them, I feel like I've said everything there is to say. Like, you change the player names, you change the salaries, and you change the opponent a little bit, but like, my philosophies are pretty well ingrained now.
Yeah.
You know, we could talk about Baker Mayfield and how he should sit for a year, but I would have said the same thing about Deshaun Kaiser. I would have said the same thing. Like, so, and I have said that about this guy and that guy.
It's plug and play.
I said, I told everybody that I thought Brandon Whedon should sit for a year and they should have let Colt McCoy play, even though I knew Colt McCoy was never going to be great. Yeah. And now the Browns are finally listening to me. They've got Tyrod Taylor, who's never going to be like Aaron Rodgers, but it seems like they're going to let him play, and they're going to sit the number one pick down. But like,
they're listening to the podcast?
No, but you know what I mean, though. It's like I've been wildly consistent with my philosophy for the last 7 or 8 years, and so what else is there to say? It gives me great respect for like the real people who've been doing it for 30, 40 years, like Terry Pluto. How does he get up the energy to talk about the Indians again in another spring training and talk about who's in the best shape of their life and who's going to turn it around and who's going to defy the 30 to 35 year age range? And
Yeah, the past 3 years, the Browns really sucked the life out of me, and I don't follow the NFL or the Browns consistently. Actually, I don't follow the NFL consistently like I used to because I did Bob and Tom. Not trying to brag, but I was on Bob and Tom, people.
But your name is Chad.
I know.
Yeah.
And Pat McAfee, who does Barstool Sports out there, he was on with me, and we were talking in the break.
He's really funny, by the way.
Yeah, he's a funny dude. He's hilarious. And we were in the break just bullshitting, and he goes, and I don't think I'm speaking out of class saying this, he goes, I hate the NFL. He goes, this is when he was still in the NFL.
Yeah.
And he goes, I hate it. They're scumbags. They just steal money. They'll do anything to make money. They don't care about the players. He goes, I cash these great checks and cringe. And this is before he did Barstool. And he told me straight up, he goes, it's a piece of shit league. And he goes, as soon as I'm done, I'm done. And sure enough, he lived up to his word.
Yeah, I mean, and for a punter, for anybody, he kind of retired early. Mm. He had more paychecks he could have earned.
Yeah.
And he just said enough.
He hated the league. And
so he started his own podcast.
They're doing great.
He's got a crew. I think they do a Sirius XM time slot now, too.
Yeah, I know a lot of people in his crew.
Has its own Sirius channel.
Yeah, so he's doing great and, really using the internet for what it is. But, so with that being said, like, I got my
so that changed your philosophy.
It did,
on the NFL.
and I don't watch the game. I don't live and die by these games, and especially if you're a Browns fan. Are you kidding me? But I will say this: I'm excited about our receivers.
Oh, I'm very excited about the Browns this year.
If we get the ball in their hands, we're going to see some fun, some action. We might not win the game.
But you make a really good point. I was talking about this last night with Jeff. It's like I'm not a casual NFL fan like I used to be. It used to be Sunday night football, yes. Monday night football, yes. Thursday night football, sure. Even that. But now, maybe it's because there's so many games out there. And maybe it's because of the way I feel about the owners and the commissioner and all this stuff. But like,
what about the players kneeling?
I feel like I know too much. Well, I don't care.
You don't care about that?
I don't.
It's such a distraction. It's so dumb. It's just
you're anti-kneeling.
I just.
What do you care?
I don't care, but I don't know. It just became. It was almost like the ice bucket challenge. Like, why are you doing this? Like what's the end game?
I did the ice bucket challenge.
it's got to the point where, like, it was just a distraction, and I'm just like, what? It was so much noise coming from both sides.
Yeah,
and it's just like it took away from the product. Like, if you're just a normal Joe, like these guys I'm looking over there, they seem like just 9-to-5 guys, work hard, drink some beers. If I go to a movie, I don't want to hear some political agenda shoved down my throat. I just want to get lost for 3 hours.
Was any political agenda shoved down your throat by anybody other than the TV cameras showing them and talking, well, who's going to kneel this week? Who's going to kneel next week? Like, how much of it was the players kneeling and how much of it was the media market around it? Oh,
it was total both sides. And I feel personally...
And Vice President Pence leaving a football game.
I think it hurt the product.
His own like... I don't know.
I don't want the politics. I don't care. Like, if I watch an NFL game, I don't give a shit. I don't want to hear about Trump. I don't want to hear about Obama. I don't want to hear about nothing. I just want to get lost.
Well, and of all the professional sports, the NFL has like embraced that more than any other, where they would have the flyovers and the troops and like. I also don't want to hear that shitty ass "Proud to Be an American" song.
Brutal.
Like, sentiment is fine. Musically, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
That song is a disaster.
It's not a good song.
It's not a good song.
I get what he's trying to do.
Yeah, sure. Well, and it's like, you're not allowed to argue against God Bless the USA.
Yes, you are.
Except I'm going to musically.
Listen, I can say anything I want. My grandfather served in World War II. My dad served in Vietnam, and I served at Applebee's. So we've served. And
you were a friendly neighborhood apple buddy.
So I'm going to go ahead and say that song stinks.
It does stink.
Yeah, and I'm in the middle. I'm a middle guy. I don't subscribe to either side, and I think whatever going on right now in this climate. It's a lot of noise, and a lot of people are angry, and a lot of people are misinformed. There's a lot of misinformation out there.
Yeah.
And personally, sometimes I just want to get away. I want to get lost.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. So what else? Have you seen any of the hot summer movies? I'm a big summer movie guy.
Summer movie time. Here we go. Han Solo movie sucked balls.
I liked it.
It was okay.
It wasn't like a classic Star Wars movie.
That wasn't Han Solo. That was just some short guy.
It didn't feel like Han Solo.
That didn't feel like Lando Calrissian. That was Donald Glover. He's short too.
He was good though. I like Donald Glover.
Yeah, but they were just it almost seemed like they were like doing a Saturday Night Live sketch.
Yeah.
Like I could not look past that.
It's like trying to watch anybody as Indiana Jones other than Harrison Ford.
Exactly.
It's the same exact thing.
And it looked like Donald Glover was doing a crappy version of Billy D. Williams. Like it just, I don't know.
Well, I think they wanted him to do an impression, but that's like it's such a weird thing. It's such a weird thing. Like I thought Rogue One was really good.
Rogue One was awesome
because nobody was really doing an impression of any of the other characters. It was like a side story, and I think that's where they need to focus their time.
Whoever directed Rogue One and wrote it, make them do all the Star Wars. They nailed it.
Yeah, fewer prequel type things where, I guess you can put Chewbacca in anything.
Oh yeah,
he's like an animatronic character practically.
Yeah.
But so yeah,
I'm sorry. Like Ron Howard. Listen, he's done some amazing films, but
when he came in to save it, they fired the original director of that movie.
I know, and it bothered me that he was on the movie. I didn't want Ron Howard. It just it seems so Hollywood to me.
Right? Yeah. Star Wars is not about having a director that you know for like having done Backdraft.
Exactly. It's like
Apollo 13 or whatever.
He can do those movies, but I don't want you coming in and to do a franchise or something.
No.
What I saw Deadpool. All right.
I didn't see Deadpool 2 yet.
It's okay.
Did you see, and it was a little bit before the summer, and not a big blockbuster, but A Quiet Place?
I should see that, right?
That one is really, really good. I like
it?
that one a lot.
I'll go see it this weekend.
It's, so it's like suspense, not full-on horror, but it's very much
like
like
suspense.
did you see the Cloverfield movie with John Goodman in the bunker?
Oh, that's a great. Well, it was great till the end.
Yeah. So it's very suspenseful.
I like
in that method, like in that kind of way. But I'm probably overselling it. People will probably be disappointed because I'm saying it's really good. It's better if you have no expectations and you go in and you're pleasantly surprised by it.
I'm gonna go see it. I'll see it.
A lot of movies like that.
Do you? Let's go Netflix real quick. Have you seen Evil Genius?
I did see. That was the one from Erie.
Yeah.
That one was
creepy.
Good. That one was awesome.
Yeah, that's a great. If you want to get lost, I think it's only 6 episodes, but
it was nice. There was only 5 or 6 episodes
in the realms of making a murderer, and it's that type of watch.
And I like the fact that it took place in Erie.
I know
Erie a little bit.
I know Peach Street. I do Junior's Comedy Club there. I know that whole area, and I don't remember that case of the pizza bomber. I don't remember it.
I vaguely remember the story, but like they actually show the bomb going off, and all that kind of stuff.
Live footage.
It was absolutely crazy, and to find out that law enforcement wanted to preserve the bombing device so they decapitated the victim.
Yeah. There's so much going on with that.
Unbelievable, that whole story.
Yeah. From top to bottom, and the guy who made it did an amazing job. I highly recommend that.
And then before we hit the record button, we were talking about Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai, starring Ralph Macchio,
William Zabka.
William Zabka. Give this guy. I give him an Academy Award. He's awesome as Johnny Lawrence. And the way they resurrected that, and the twist, the spin they put on it is so good. Highly recommended.
Yeah, and we were talking about how they really defied the tone of the original, but they still somehow maintained the magic.
Yeah.
And nobody knows exactly why the Karate Kid was as magical as it was. It was a bomb at the box office originally, and then it's become this cult movie, classic forever.
Well, I've talked for years, if you know me from when I was on Cleveland radio, it's one of my favorite films of all time.
I didn't know that.
It's one of my favorite films.
All right.
Karate Kid spoke to me, and as a child growing up when we did, like HBO and cable was big,
Yeah.
and it was always on HBO. So I watched that movie probably more than any movie.
See, we didn't have HBO, but the first time they showed it on broadcast TV, we recorded it with the commercials.
Yeah.
My brother and I wore out that VHS tape. Watching
Yeah,
that.
we would do that too.
That was
Exactly.
like the beginning of home video.
Yeah, VHS. So the Karate Kid held a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
And for them to resurrect it and do such a great job, and have a friend of mine in it who plays.
Yeah, Brett Ernst, who you hooked me up with, who's been on the Waiting for Next Year podcast.
He's been on my podcast a bunch of times. Like, he plays. Talk about his backstory.
Yeah.
He grew up in a single parent household. He's from Jersey. He's Italian. That was his favorite movie growing up. And now he's a LaRusso. He's playing Daniel LaRusso's cousin. Like,
It's amazing.
at one point, they were sitting around the table. It was John. I think it was Johnny, and he had to like yell "cut." He goes, "This is too surreal right now. I need a moment."
If Pat Morita were alive and he were here too, my head would implode.
Yeah, and like. So I love, like, I was talking to comedian Godfrey out of New York, and
God, you're such a name dropper.
yeah, well, this is the world I live in. I mean, I don't get to hang out with the UFC champion like you.
That's true.
So
I'm a big deal. I don't know if you know this about me.
I'm noticing it, but I'm happy for like good guys that get opportunity, like Brent Ernst, and you get to live like a magical moment in your life.
Yeah.
Like, you've experienced cool stuff. I've experienced cool stuff, but when you have this like out of body experience and you're very grateful for it, I love hearing those stories.
Yeah, well, and certainly I tell you all the time the fact that you get to do Kumia's podcast and Bennington, just to do an hour of radio with Ron Bennington, it should be anybody's goal in life.
It's never lost.
And you've gotten to do it so many times now.
I mean, I got Ron's number, so it's like it's not lost upon me, because I always, like, I'm in the moment and I understand, and even when I'm walking into the Sirius building and I see Baba Booey right there, and I look over and I see the big fist, I go, this is why I'm here. This is why I started this journey. That door right there started me doing this. So
Sure. Yeah.
I never take it for granted, and I'm grateful too. And just texting with Anthony Cumia, I'm like, are you kidding me? By the way, I didn't realize how good that guy is until the last time I was on their show when Artie was still on the show.
Yeah.
I found out the magic of Anthony Cumia and how quick and fast he was. I was like, oh, I get it now.
You know what, because Ron Bennington calls him Willie Mays.
That's a great analogy.
It's Willie Mays.
And when I was sitting there and I go, okay, I get it. It took me a while. I mean, I always knew he was great and funny, but I never got why he was so good.
Yeah, because he is as fast as anybody in a radio studio. It's uncanny.
And he'll pick up on anything. We can go down any road with him. One time I brought up, just to throw a curveball, Bob Crane from Hogan's Heroes. Next thing you know, we're talking 20 minutes about Bob Crane's career, and he knew who killed him, John Carpenter. He was calling him he's calling him tripod head, because that's how he died. He got beaten by a tripod.
He knows silly little facts. And he can do impressions. It's like it's a complete package.
And my buddy Dave Lando's on his show now, which is hilarious. And Dave's a great comic. He's just a road guy like me, and got an amazing opportunity. Moved to New York.
What a gig, man!
Oh, dude, he was like us.
How pissed were you that you weren't called?
This is why I think, because people.
kidding,
No. Somebody asked me. They're like, "Are you mad that Dave got it?" I'm like, "No," because Dave actually, he's good. He's really good with Anthony, and I could see the chemistry. And I go, oh, it makes sense. If you're a good hire, I'm like, there's no bitterness. And plus, he's like me. We're road warriors, and he's got a family. I don't. I mean, I still go on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know if I was even considered for the position, but I know him and Anthony are really good together. So.
Well, man, this has been fun. It's good of us. It's good to catch up with you. While you're in town. Hopefully, we can do it one or two more times while you're home for the summer.
Consistently.
And maybe not in a loud...
Did you have Stipe on the podcast?
I did.
Oh, okay. Is that on? I got to listen to it.
Yeah, it was just... I grabbed 5 minutes with him. I didn't have a long time.
Oh, you only had 5?
Yeah, but it was good.
Okay.
It was good. And he's fighting July 7th. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, that's great. Fantastic.
They just turned the lights out on us.
They're setting the tone.
Setting the tone.
By the way, Jessica Evil Eye is a friend of mine, and she just keeps blowing my podcast off.
She's a badass.
Oh, she's awesome. But I text her, and she's like, yeah, I'll do it. No problem. And it just never comes on. So I don't know what the hell's going on.
Just go to her gym
I know.
Especially after a workout.
She used to be my personal trainer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when I was on the radio.
That's crazy.
She trained me for like 2 months.
She is unbelievably, like, just a total specimen when you meet her. Because you see her on TV or whatever, you're like, okay, yeah, she's athletic. And then you meet her and you realize, like, she's so much bigger and so much stronger than you could ever possibly imagine from seeing her on TV.
I arm wrestled her. There's a video online of me arm wrestling her.
I'm going to have to look that one up.
It's pretty awesome. I won't tell you what happens.
All right, well, we're back. We're back to live soccer. So,
Okay.
But thanks so much. And do you have any closing notes for the Sit Down Zumock audience?
Listen, I don't know if you guys do Patreon. Do you still do it?
Yep, patreon.com/WFNY.
There you go. Well, I do Patreon myself. I'm consistent. I release bonus episodes. If you go to patreon.com/sitdownzumock, just $3 a month, just $3, you can find it in your couch. Sign up, you get additional podcasts. I put archive podcasts. I throw up all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff, free tickets to my show. It's $3 a month if you got the change in your pocket to do so. It sounds like I'm Sally Struthers, $1 a day.
Save the animals.
Save the animal. But it's $3. You won't even notice it's gone. But sign up for bonus stuff. You can hear great podcasts with different people like Craig Lyndall from Waiting from Next Year, Scott Sargent from Waiting from Next Year, and then keep going down the line.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks so much for listening, everybody. On behalf of Chad, it's Craig, waitingfornextyear.com podcast. And Sit Down Zumock.
That's a wrap.
God damn, man laughs at God's plan. God laughs at man's trash, man plans.
Let it be what it is. Fight the power for the kids who don't know. You may ask yourself, figure it out. Bad news is bad news. The damn plan got you confused. Good news, no good news. Ghetto burbs, see them as views. Am I a pacifist? Am I scared to fight? I ain't asking you. Am I grown? Do I stand up? Am I owned? Let it be. Speaking words, but no wisdom. Make them dumb. Damn the plan that man made through the monkey wrench. Praise their faves, what they gave. Get attention. Nowadays, it's the way they get paid to get saved. Pray to the stage.
Do it for the youth. Do it for the culture. Do it for the youth. Do it for the culture. Do it for the youth. Do it for the culture. Do it for the youth.
Am I a radical? Am I a pacifist? Am I scared to fight? I ain't asking you. Am I grown? Do I stand up? Am I owned? Be the change you wanna see and wanna be. Let it be. Revolution, what it is. Bring the noise. 89, another summer. We the me. 89, another summer. We the me.
For the youth. Do it for the youth. Do it for the youth. Do it